If you're an actor who's looking to direct either other actors or wear two hats and act and direct at the same time, then this episode is for you. Today's guest, if I read their resume, my intro would be a whole episode on its own. It's very impressive. She's a Canadian-American actor, writer, director, and educator in Toronto and Los Angeles. She's known for her roles in American Psycho, The Donner Party, Odyssey 5, and Star Trek Strange New Worlds. She has also directed lots of projects. She has starred, directed, and written 2 short films that have won awards worldwide. And she has been on stage, she has been in front of the camera, behind the camera, and she is making her own classrooms. I'm so excited to dive into it all. Today's guest is none other than Catherine Black. Yay!
Hello! Thank you, that was great.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being on my podcast today.
And it's a Canadian-American.
Canadian-American, yes, you're right. I'm so sorry. Canadian-Americans, this is a Canadian podcast.
Yeah.
So yes, Canadian first, American second. So let's talk about that. How did that come to be? Because I thought originally seeing Canadian-American that your parents were one Canadian, one American, but you said that you...
Yeah, no, I made it happen. I got a work visa.
Yes.
And moved to Los Angeles.
Did you get a work visa through acting?
I
was
did,
it just you had enough
it
credits
was
and work here?
a O1 visa, which is it's supposed to be someone of extraordinary abilities.
Nice.
And so when you to me, it was the act of getting all this material together to prove that you're extraordinary, makes you feel very unextraordinary. It's I don't know why it was demoralizing.
I know, I was thinking extraordinary abilities, here I am.
I'm you have to reference letters, so I'm can you just put in there national treasure and stuff like that?
There's keywords, national treasure, star. I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of painful, actually.
It's kind of painful. Own it.
Yeah. And then that eventually I got a green card, and then I think if you have a green card long enough, you can apply for citizenship. So.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Wicked. That's awesome. Well, good for you.
Yeah,
congratulations.
I am proud to be an American now. It's
nice.
It was a long time coming,
Yeah. Long time, a lot of money.
Yeah. And my grandfather is American, actually. He's from Los Angeles, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So do you stay with family when you're down there? Or do you have your own place when you go down there?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. But you're mostly in Toronto now.
These days, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yay. Well, we're so happy you're here.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been fun. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love Toronto.
Did you always know that you wanted to be an actor? Looking at your resume and all the things you do, it seems like you've always been an artist.
Yeah, definitely always been an artist. I think I fancied myself more of a visual artist when I was a kid.
Nice.
I was kind of shy. And I became an actor because it's a long story. My mom put me in commercials when I was a kid. So I did do it when I was little as well. But then I was no, I want to be a fashion designer, and didn't pursue it. And I didn't think that I was because I would, when you're, I don't know, I was taking acting classes with little child actors, and they're so mature, and then they also really are very animated, and I wasn't like that. I didn't think that I was an actor because I wasn't hamming it up all the time.
Yeah.
So then when I was 16, I left home when I was 16.
Okay.
And I went to this school called Seed. You know Seed?
I don't know.
It's I think it's in the East End now, but it used to be at Yonge and Carleton.
Okay.
Right beside Franz.
Right, yeah.
And it's an alternative high school, student-run high school.
Okay.
And it's a public school, but it's you have to be really self-motivated, otherwise
it's not going to work.
It doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
And so there was, I think on a bulletin board, there was at the school, there was an audition notice for Romeo and Juliet. And so I just thought I would audition, and I ended up getting cast as Juliet.
Nice.
And Louis Belmander was the director.
Yeah.
And that was kind of just like the beginning.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's wicked.
Yeah, long-winded story, but yeah.
No, we love it. We love a good story.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome. So then
Yeah.
after that, do you decide, okay, I really want to do this and get an agent?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I loved it.
That's wicked.
Yeah, and it was sort of like one of those things that like, I like blossomed into it, you know, like the more that every step I took on the stage, I just like was like, you know, more and more like embracing it and just loved it and continued studying and doing theater, and I got an agent, I think, through that. Can't really remember. Or it contributed to me getting an agent, and then like the rest is history. Yeah.
Wicked. And are you with the same agent that? No, absolutely not.
Many agents later. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because I find it is necessary to, as your career grows, get new agency, new representation, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
It's good to be with someone. Like, well, I mean, it depends. Everyone's different, but for me, I like to have the same values as my rep. Mm-hmm. I like to have a relationship with them, and I like to like them.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Since you're going to be working with them so much.
Yeah.
Liking them is nice.
Yeah. Not that I didn't like the other ones, but you know what I mean. I like to be on the same page.
Yeah, for sure. Mm. And do you have then an agent here and an agent in LA? It's two separate ones?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. And who are you with in Toronto?
I'm actually with the agency is based out of Vancouver, but they have a department here as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wicked. What's their name? You want to give them a shout out?
Yeah. They were Kirk, and they're now, I can't remember their name right now. It's like Integral. I just like joined something.
Because they changed it on you.
Yeah.
That's why. So it used to be Kirk.
Yeah. Integral Artists. Yeah.
Integral Artists.
Yeah.
Excellent. Nice.
Yeah. And then in the U.S., I'm with, they're actually U.S. and Europe based.
Oh, okay.
Vimeo Talento.
Oh,
yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah. And they're great too. Yeah.
Nice. And so when you were applying for agents the last time to get your one in Vancouver, what kind of stuff did you put together in your package?
A few headshots, different looks, like 4, not too many. Don't want to overwhelm them.
Nice. And what kind of looks do you go for in a headshot? Like, are you doing the standard like commercial film?
I don't really focus on commercials. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not a commercial person either. Yeah. They tend not to like me.
It's a little different, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're selling a little bit. And I know that commercials now are a little more grounded than they used to be, but I just don't focus on them.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's great to get a commercial and
yeah, I'll take commercial money any day.
But I'm a very serious actor,
That's right. So your looks then, what do you do like a more dramatic, a more comedic, or do you focus specifically on certain characters that you would play?
Kind of more of the characters. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
And more of like a vibe, like I'm not putting it just on a costume or
right.
whatever. And I look very different when my hair's straight. And, so I just like straight hair, curly hair, basically.
Nice.
But you're knowing like what you play helps, and so I will say that in the body of the email as well.
Okay.
And then have photos to kind of back that up.
Nice.
Yeah. So like I get a lot of try to describe it. Like I play mothers, but like mothers who are like avenging like something, getting justice or like saving their kid, like something like really dramatic like that, like the kid's dying or has been kidnapped or like ghosts did something, like it's like supernatural, like there's always like a mother like just like in peril fighting for something. That's like something I do a lot. But then I'll also play like a dark kind of like edgy characters. But then I'll also play like kind of like a exuberant, like nurturing character as well. And so just having like like if you were to play like a detective and then to play like a somebody who's like a little bit more troubled, and then nurturing, and then, like just having this like variety of characters.
Yeah. Okay, nice.
And then my reels. I usually have a bunch of reels.
Yeah, like a comedy reel,
Comedy,
a drama reel.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wicked.
I have a stunt reel too.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. Even though I have some injuries, so I have to be careful. Like I've ended up I put a stunt reel together just because I thought it'd be really funny. Because there's like a bunch of movies where I like chase someone down and like hurt them or kill them. And so I was like, I'm just going to put a reel together of me doing that.
Nice. Smart. I like it.
Yeah.
That's wicked. Did you do any stunt training for or the
No.
role just called for it? So
Well, usually you'll work with a stunt coordinator. Even though I have injuries, I used to be a gymnast. So
yeah.
I am like sturdy and like I know my body, and I'm
right.
athletic-ish, yeah.
You can say athletic.
No, I'm going to say ish.
Ish?
Yeah.
All right. I'll let you be humble. That's awesome. So when you're acting, what was the first big project? Would that be American Psycho? Would be your first big project that you did? Or was there something else before that?
Well, let me see if I remember it. I remember I was doing this short film, and then I ended up right before that. No, I think the first thing I did was this Disney movie of the week.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Called Mr. Headmistress.
Okay, nice.
And it's listed on IMDb now as part of like a collection of Disney stuff. But it's Mr. Headmistress. Katie Seagal's in it. Who else is in it? That's all I remember right now. But yeah, that was really fun. And then I did this short film, and then I did Loser, I think, after that, and then American Psycho. It was they were all kind of like back to back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah.
And is that all is that from your LA agent or Toronto agent?
Here.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And American Psycho was amazing. That was actually when I realized I wanted to be a director.
Oh, yeah?
Because Mary Herron was just so inspired, and she was so chill. And I thought it'd be really funny if I was I think I just had 1.5 lines, but I thought it'd be really funny if I was smoking these black cigarettes that I bought and just eating because I'm out for dinner with rich people, and so I'm just gonna take as much as I can, because so I thought that would be really funny, and so she thought it was really funny too, and ended up getting all these close-ups of it, and was just directing a crane, but she was doing it all very calmly, and she had a baby on. She was I think she was 49 or something, and she had a baby on her hip half the day, and
no way.
Directing this cult classic, and I was just watching her the whole day,
nice.
I want to be her.
Right? I love those. I love those. I want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, that's so wicked. So then the directing bug is born.
Yeah.
And so what do you do with that? Do you immediately start writing, or you want to direct other people's stuff? Or you're just I didn't do anything?
It took me a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not entirely true. I went and took the next thing I did was I was on this National Film Board movie, and I became really close with the director, and I asked if I could shadow her.
Oh,
and
nice.
So I was shadowing her in production and in post.
Oh,
and
amazing.
Then I learned a lot with that, and then I took a producing course. But I ended up having knee surgery, and it's a long story after that, but it kind of held me up for a bit,
Right.
And I didn't direct until I had moved to LA.
Okay.
It took me a bit, and then I wrote a film, and I wrote a film. Originally, I wrote a film for as like a pitch, kind of. Like
Okay.
I wanted to like pitch a project to, like I wanted to pitch myself for a role in a film.
Okay.
And I thought that I would like put it together. But then I forgot about that part of it, and I just like wrote a movie, and then
Nice.
For myself to star in. And then I had it read at a script reading at a organization called We Make Movies, and they're really great, really supportive group of people in Hollywood, and they help you make your movies basically. And it got selected, and I don't think we won the final like thing, but it like went kind of far, and it kind of inspired me to make the film.
Nice.
And then I didn't think that I could direct it at first, but then I was like, but I have this vision in my head, and I don't really know how to translate it. And I was talking to some people, and they didn't get it, and so I was like, I just have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just did it.
Nice.
And I was super prepared, and I always loved listening to filmmakers, and I've been on set a lot, and I've worked as a stand-in, and you learn a lot, as a stand-in on, some, because you're just always there.
Yeah.
And I've dated filmmakers. I've like, I have enough like accumulated knowledge. And, and I always loved movies. Like I just used to watch movies as a kid all the time, like over and over again. And I like had a camera, and my parents should have known
that this is what was going to happen.
Yeah. So
were
anyways,
your parents in the arts at all?
My mother was a ballerina.
Okay.
She went to the National Ballet School.
Amazing.
But she had an injury, and then she had me. And my dad was like, he drew and sang and stuff like that, but now he's a stockbroker.
Okay, nice. So there's some art skills that are in the family.
Yeah.
So were they supportive of you going into like the acting and, I guess your mom, because she put you in commercials when you were a kid.
She was.
So yeah, they were okay.
I don't know if
with
my
it as a
dad
career.
was though.
No?
No.
It was like, please, more practical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always the case.
Yeah.
Right? Can you do something practical? No. It's not fun.
I think like in those situations, parents should like encourage both of them. So it's not like a rebellion against the other, and so then you actually do have like a practical thing as well as, because nowadays that's just kind of the name of the game. That's just like what you have to do.
Right?
Yeah.
Even if you have a more practical job, you still have a side hustle because everything's so expensive.
Yeah, and like what we learned last year with, these celebrities that are on hit shows that are can't afford their health insurance.
Yeah, exactly. Nuts.
Yeah, it's like, that was always kind of the case here. Like, actors didn't make as much money as they did in the US, but now it's like kind of all leveled a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So do you have a job on the side that you do as well?
I teach acting.
Excellent.
Yes.
Nice.
I love it.
And tell me about your teaching acting. Do you do it at a studio, or is it just your own?
No, I teach with Stuart Rogers Studios in Los Angeles.
Nice.
And I studied there for 10 plus years, like straight.
Nice.
That's kind of the way it is in Los Angeles. You're just like in class indefinitely.
Right.
That's like the culture.
Yeah.
And I really love the process. It's very different from other processes.
Okay.
A lot of people in Russia are teaching this kind of method, but it's basically inspired by the last kind of years of Stanislavski's life, where he like threw everything out.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of, I'm trying to do like an elevator pitch of it. It's hard to do because excuse me. Like I was learning it for 10 years before I started teaching it.
Yeah.
So it's not like a quick fix. However, it is it's more like a system in a way. And I find it's really helpful for the working actor. So like when you're on set, It's about like always keeping it fresh. And so there's always variety. And so you're always flexible and you can like adjust. So you never like land on anything, you know, like you don't like, you never decide how it's going to go.
Right. Okay.
And however, you are rehearsing, for lack of a better word, or exploring it in many different ways.
Nice.
So when you go on set and the director says something to you and it's not what you planned, that doesn't
You're not
happen.
thrown off your track.
You're like flexible because you've already
practiced it a million different ways.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so it's just kind of like about breaking patterns, you know, and not falling into patterns. Because you know when you first like do something and it feels really great and then you try and do it again and it just gets weaker and weaker and weaker.
Yes.
It's so that doesn't happen.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I always find that with self-tapes. I'll like nail it and be like, okay, one more for safety. Yeah. Like, never mind. That one was it, clearly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's to like keep it fresh. And then also to have like a greater understanding of it too. You know, so you're like exploring it all these different ways. And
yeah. Awesome. That sounds so cool.
So I teach online with the studio in Los Angeles.
Nice.
And then I also teach at the new Tapa building called B Street.
Okay.
And it's at Bathurst and DuPont.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wicked. That's awesome. I love that your job is still within the industry.
I love talking about it.
Nice. Excellent. And then you have your own course that you do now as well.
Yeah.
Online. Tell me everything.
Yeah. So I created this course called Actors Direct, and I originally taught it live, which was so helpful. All the questions that everybody asked me really informed how I created this. It's like a digital course, so you can work on it on your own pace.
Nice.
And I'm also involved in that process too. So like there's, you know, you send me your homework and then I also like contribute my, you know, input into it. And it's like a fully holistic filmmaking, mostly a directing class for actors. So it is a directing class or course, and but it starts from like creating a script for yourself to star in, and so that's kind of the goal. And then you prep this project from like pre through till post.
Nice.
And there's 8 modules, and what else? Yeah, and so it is like a you know you will like learn how to direct, but like also how to do that while acting.
Yeah.
Because the reason I created it is because that's just the most exciting thing for me, and like what I'm most passionate about. And when I see other artists doing it, I'm like really into it because I feel personally there's like lots of reasons, but I'm the most empowered when I'm doing it, and it's given me the most. And I've directed other people's projects before too.
Right.
And I like directing other people's projects, and just as much as I love acting in other people's projects, but when I do both at the same time, I feel like I have a greater understanding of the story, and more of a vision. Like I'm like really invested in this thing, and my acting informs my directing informs my acting.
Okay, right, yeah. And more just power and control over the end result too.
Yeah.
Because I know that's frustrating for writers when they make something and then hand it off, and like you said, like they didn't get it. You know? Like, that's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, so that's like the single most important thing that a director contributes is their point of view.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you can like, you know, especially like if you've never been cast in a role that you want to play, you know, you can do that for yourself.
Nice.
And you can like make yourself the lead, you know, because you're the director. So
I love that. That's awesome. That's wicked. By the way, the course link will be below. So check it out because I'm going to be doing it. I'm very excited.
Yes.
So yeah, what do you think was the most difficult part? Your first project that you were doing when you were directing and acting, what was like the biggest lesson that you learned from that?
You know, the first project I did was like, what is it that saying, beginner's luck?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like where everything just, there was one incident, but everything for the most part was perfect. Like
Nice.
I really love this film. It's called The Puta Madre, a love story. And it's like so perfect to me. Like it's exactly what I imagined. It's very artsy.
Nice. Won some awards.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. Like at the time when I made it, I couldn't get an audition in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And I don't even think I had an agent here. And it was just like this period of time where I was feeling really lost as an artist. And I made this film and I won Best Director and I won Best Actress.
That's amazing.
At some international film festivals. And it like really was like, you know, it just was really empowering.
So, yeah, validating. I'm like, okay,
I can do this.
I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But my second film was a little bit more challenging. I mean, it was also like more challenging for, you know, content-wise. Like my first film was just like two people in a field, you know, and a bird. There was a bird. I hired a bird.
Hired a bird.
Yeah. And there was some extras too, but
simpler than Girl Trip, right?
Yeah. There was like 7 characters, 7 locations. There were stunts. There was firearms. No bullets, though. I made sure of that.
Yes.
Like it was like closed fake guns.
Yeah.
I was like, I do not want any real,
right?
Like anything that like has a
anything
chamber.
that could happen, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, rubber, like
Yeah.
And so there was stunts, there was visual effects, there was special effects makeup, and lots of challenges. And we filmed out of town. Both of these films were filmed out of town.
Okay.
So I'm like putting people up in hotels and stuff.
Wow.
And I just like to do that.
It's just like,
Well, you know, they say like location.
Yeah.
Because that'll like kind of sell half your movie. And it's like a character. The location is like a character. So yeah, Girl Trip, we filmed up in this like amazing town in Northern California on the Delta called Locke.
Okay.
And it was like the first Chinese settlement in America.
Oh.
And so there's all these just really cool buildings. And I can't even like explain this area. It's just so cool. And there was a bar called Al the Wops, and it's a biker bar. And the owner let us film there.
Nice.
But the owner died the day before we were supposed to film.
No. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was really sad. He was young. He was like in his 50s.
Awful.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And his wife didn't really want us in there.
Yeah.
Talked to her, and she let us be in there for like a few hours. And we were supposed to be in there for like 12 hours or something.
Right.
And so I had to like change my whole shot list.
Yeah,
and do all these like weird, I end up doing all these weird shots because I'm just trying to fit all 7 characters in this like one frame. Because we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, no kidding. Jeez, because she's got a lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I had empathy for her. And so that was just like, you know, one of the things. So there was like a lot of stuff like that, and we'd lost our first AD, and I'm filming in the middle of nowhere, right? So we lost our first AD like the day before too. So it was like all these things happened the day before.
Geez, so how do you keep it together?
I don't know, I kind of love crisis
wrong.
For some reason.
Yeah?
I turn into that person, like, you know, like stones falling in water. That's what happens to me.
Okay.
I just like slow down.
Oh.
And I like when there's a crisis. I don't go into gear. I like slow down, and I I look to see what needs to be done.
Analyze and just solve the problem.
And I have fun doing it.
Okay.
And so like even though like obviously that was really tragic that he died. He's got credit. His name's in the credits as well.
Nice.
But yeah, so I just changed my shot list. I did. In some ways, it was almost easier to deal with what happened having less people. and being like the only one that, it was like me and the DP were the only people who knew what was going on.
Right.
And my DP was incredible. It's like a DP in the US, DOP here.
Right, yeah.
He was incredible. Like, he was like a machine. And we were a great team, and I would love to work with him again because
That's
of
awesome.
it. And I promise you, if you're listening to this, Matt Boyd, I will have a proper first AD team, a proper AD team, I promise you.
I love it. I swear, next time will be different.
But I think he had fun too. Like,
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like you guys like, and watching it, it looks like it
yeah.
turned out great.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a couple of shots I did not get. And they, you know, when you're a director, you will like remember those things.
That's fair. That's fair.
You're like,
That's fair. But
Yeah.
the audience won't know.
Yeah, and I was on the
But-
phone with like the editor at like 3:00 in the morning, trying to make sure I'm shooting the shots correctly for visual effects and
Right,
like, things
right.
like. So it was like way more complicated than like two people in a field, you know.
Yeah, a lot more things to keep track of and overlook as a director.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like
that's
scheduling, I had to do that, so I was like showing up like an hour earlier and doing the scheduling and stuff. And
Crazy. So how did directing help your acting?
well, I don't like. That's something that's in Actors Direct, is because like I do know some people have trouble being, objectively directing and subjectively performing, because you don't, as an actor, you don't really want to be like in your head, right?
Right.
And like when you're directing, you could be in your head. And so what was the question?
Well, how did directing help your acting?
Yeah, I think it helped for me. It helped me let go and trust a little bit more. Like I felt, maybe because I knew everything, I was able to just be present,
Right.
performing. And
there's other things that help you out as well, like trust in that you have like a good director and things like that. You know?
just also that I know what's going on. I think. Yeah. I mean, I think like I try and share as much with my performers as I can. Like if I have a mood board or like a pitch deck or something like that, like show it to your actors.
Right,
Let them in on this world you're creating. It's helpful.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, we're gonna hire you, and you're gonna guess that you can. That we're on the same page.
I find a lot of indie films will give you that information, but not like the bigger productions.
Right. Do you still get nervous auditioning for projects?
I think so. Yeah, it depends though. Like I can get nervous in a Zoom audition.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that it's like, I think if I was in the room, I probably wouldn't be as nervous.
Okay.
It might just be like, oh, I should have like checked this technical stuff first before I, like it's. But I still do. I still do. Yeah. Do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially for Zoom.
I feel better on
auditions.
set though. Like I'm not nervous on set.
Yeah, I think I had one time where I like got to set and I was like, oh, why am I here? Like, the imposter syndrome just was like, oh, who invited you here? But then I just was like, you know what? I was asked to be here. Like, I'm fine.
You're fine. Yeah.
So I think that's the only time so far that I've had that. But once I'm on set, it's like, okay, they trust myself to do the job I was hired to do. But I don't like Zoom auditions personally. I think I would rather like in the room as well. Yeah. So then you get the.
I do like it though.
Human connection.
I booked a Star Trek from a Zoom audition.
Oh, okay, nice.
And I had a good time with that because I practiced it. But I think it's like practicing, like rehearsing with your setup. So those things aren't surprising you.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is harder to be affected by your reader when they're not physically there.
Yeah.
It's like a different brain skill.
Yeah, it is. It is
To
a
like
different
telepathically connect with someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's a recent highlight that you've had in your acting career? Is something that you think of fondly?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm sure there's plenty, but
Yeah.
first one that comes to mind.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Strange New Worlds was great.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good experience. But I did a play, like literally right before the whole world shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such an incredible experience
Nice.
in Los Angeles. It was called And Then They Came for Me. And I was with Main Street Theater, and the director was incredible. She does a lot of stuff with Steppenwolf, and she was just like really inspired. So we only had like a 2-week rehearsal.
Oh, wow.
So we had to show up like off book.
Yeah.
And we often would spend entire days like blocking the scene, and then we'd come in the next day and she would throw it all out. Like she was like,
Oh, no way.
throwing stuff out.
Ah.
Yeah. Right up until we got on the stage. Like,
Oh my goodness. So then your training then sure came in handy because you're like, I do this all the time in class.
Yes. It was just like that. Yeah. But she was so inspired though. Like she was just like painting with us, you know?
That's amazing.
And the lighting was amazing. There was like a 30-foot silhouette of me.
Oh, wow.
So I played 2 characters. I played Anne Frank, and I played this woman. His character's name is Muti, and that woman ended up becoming Anne Frank's like stepmother after Anne had died.
Right.
And so I was playing those 2 characters, and there was like very quick changes. Like I literally, we had to rehearse like me taking off this one dress and putting on another dress with like 4 people helping me do it while I'm like a backlight is on me to push this like 30-foot like silhouette of me.
Yeah.
And I mean, the lighting was just like amazing. It was like another character in the play to play with.
That's amazing.
And then we performed to like 1,000 kids a day.
Wow.
And on the weekend it was open to the public, but the kids were amazing. They were like, they'd show up like really rowdy. And by the end of it, they were just so mesmerized, and they had all these questions, and we did talkbacks with them every day.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then I got fan mail from the kids.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And it won Best Production of a Large Theater.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, there was talk of like remounting it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they will. I would love to though.
Yeah.
It was just like one of those productions.
Nice. Wicked. Do you find it difficult playing a character that's a real person?
Yeah. So I like did a deep dive, and I still like feel so connected to this person that I never met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, and also because she's such, like, Anne Frank's such an icon, too. Like, everybody has an idea of who she was. And
Yeah. Did you find that as added pressure, or did you felt
I just found my own
comfortable?
version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
just like her and me. And the way in which we were performing it, we were also like, the director had this idea that we were students going to a museum, discovering this information for the first time.
Oh, okay.
So it was almost like we were like having our own experience with Anne or the other characters, and so it gave us that freedom to explore it that way.
Oh, that's fun.
Without trying to be like accurate.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was really, really great experience.
Amazing. That is so cool.
I love doing theater. I don't do it enough.
Yeah. Are you union for theater as
Yeah.
well? Nice.
Yeah,
Wicked.
both in
Equity.
the U.S. and here.
What is it in the
Actors
US?
equity there, and
Oh,
then
it's just
Canadian
actors.
actors equity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And they're like reciprocal. So if you were to join one, your dues that you spent in one country will be deducted from the other country.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, that's kinda cool.
Nice. Well, that works out.
Yeah.
Wicked. Yeah. Theater's so nice. I love theater. Especially when you're like quick changes. I was like, don't you love that part?
Yeah. I had to like run outside the building in one like barefoot.
Oh, no way.
And like people just like open the doors and I would just like run from like one side of the building, big building too, like, to get in the other side and like just like walk on stage like nothing happened. Right?
I was here the whole time.
Yeah.
Teleported. Yeah, the magic of theater is something else.
You get like really in shape doing theater backstage, like climbing things and like changing and stuff.
Quick changes. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. That's so much fun. Do you like theater more than film? Or do you just have...
I actually think as an artist, I think I like film better. Mm-hmm. As an actor, I do like both.
Mm-hmm. They each have their different pros and...
Yeah, I do love being... And I do think you can do this in theater too. Mm-hmm. I think it's like a misconception that you have to be bigger. I mean, I think like... Definitely you have to communicate physically more and vocally more, but I don't think you have to like change anything really internally.
Right.
I think it's the same internally.
Yeah.
And I do love to like just, I mean, wherever it is, I just love to to act with somebody and just like be, and not know what's going to come out of my mouth next. Yeah. It comes out of my mouth and like, I'm like, discovering stuff in the moment, and that's just the best thing ever.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. Yeah, I think you're right about the theater, the misconception of it being bigger. So I found lately with just the plays that I've seen or people that I've worked with in theater, is the actors that I admire the most and love the most is they've contained it more, and so it is just like a regular conversation. You're just watching it happen on stage. Whereas the ones that are more like theater acting, and it's like I'm gonna say it's like a generational thing of like making it bigger. It's less interesting than just someone
just really experiencing.
Just like regularly living life on a stage. Yeah, it's really wicked. I love theater. But I did want to ask you, what do you find is the most difficult part of a career in the arts?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a good question. Because it can be so personal, right? Depending on like where you're coming from culturally or like your family. I guess I could just talk about myself. What is the most? Money?
Right? The lack of funds. That is fair. That's so true.
And then like, I guess too, being a performer, we often don't remember that we're artists because it's this like, it can be a multi-billion-dollar industry as well.
Yeah.
And then it's not dependent upon whether or not you're better than someone else or they're better than you. It's like all these other things come into play. Like the distributors need a name, so that's why they went with that person. Or they can't have two brunettes, or, it's just all these random things that have nothing to do with talent at all. And so just remembering that and not taking any of it personally and like staying the course if you want to.
Right. Have you ever thought about quitting?
Like I've threatened the universe before.
I love that. Threaten the universe. Like, if I don't book something soon, I swear to you, I'm going to quit.
Yeah. But I think I don't know. I've just been too deep in. I can't imagine what I would do.
Right.
I add on, Yeah.
Like
I just added on intimacy coordinating.
Oh, yes. I wanted to ask you about intimacy coordinating.
Yeah.
So you just finished that course, right?
I'm almost finished.
Okay, wicked.
Yeah.
Amazing. Congrats. That's so
Thank
cool.
you.
What made you want to get into that? Just something else to add to the...
I wanted to do it ever since I heard of it. So it kind of came about like after the Me Too movement.
Yeah, it is
like
a fairly newer thing to have on set, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they've had, like coordination for sex scenes, but intimacy coordinator is kind of just different in that it's like protecting all parties and that kind of thing.
It was a lot of random stuff that I already do and know, and I've been chipping away at my education for years, but like I couldn't quite. It was, I guess it wasn't as necessary. There was only a few people doing it, and then it was a little bit coveted, and so I didn't know how to get into it exactly. And then I found this course, and they're Canadian, and they're great, and it's really comprehensive, and I'm so grateful to have this education, actually.
Nice.
But yeah, so you're like, you're protecting the actors, you're a liaison between production and the actors, you're protecting the director's vision and supporting the legal writers and making sure like the crew is good, and
amazing.
It's kind of like all this stuff that like I know I do and think anyways.
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited about it.
That's wicked.
And also because myself, I have done, it's not just for nudity and simulated sex. It's also for any hyper exposed content.
Yeah.
If you feel that this material is triggering for you, or it's, you have a trauma around that, you can ask for an intimacy coordinator.
Okay. Interesting. Good to know.
I don't think like a lot of actors know that.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Good to know. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah. And they just put it in the SAG contract that's like now, like it was always the case, but now it's in the actual contract.
Okay, nice.
And that producers cannot retaliate if you request for intimacy coordinator.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, but that's I think awesome. Like it saves everybody time and money to make sure that people are safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and then, like on the production side, you don't want to get sued or in trouble or make people feel uncomfortable, and on the performing side, you don't want to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, but also like if they shoot something that is against the performer's rider, then they can't use it.
Yeah, so that's true too. Yeah,
there's like you don't want to do reshoots. That's gonna cost a lot of money.
Might as well just do it the right way.
Yeah,
have everybody happy.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I think more people are understanding it now, and it's becoming like in demand.
Yeah, for sure.
I haven't worked with one yet though.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I'm going to request one.
Yeah. I'm going to request one. Yeah, absolutely. That's wicked. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I like to finish up this podcast with fast 5 questions. Okay. They're never fast, so don't even worry about it. Your favorite beverage?
I just love something sparkling. There's lots of good sparkling, herbal, sweet things lately. I like those.
Nice. What is your favorite genre to watch?
Dark comedies.
Dark comedies. Love. What is a pet peeve of yours?
That's a good one. I mustn't have something so strong because it's not coming to my mind. Pet peeve. Can't think of anything.
That's all right. You don't have to have one.
I mean, I hate it when you're like walking down the street and like an entire family will just like stop and take up the whole sidewalk.
Yes. That is so annoying.
That's all I can come up with.
No worries. That's perfect. Me too. What is a show you've binged recently? Or a movie that you really loved, if you're not into shows right now?
No, I did watch the most recent True Detective recently.
Yes.
That was scary.
What'd you think? Did you like it?
I did. Yeah.
I thought the first 2 episodes, I was like, woohoo, this could go somewhere. And then after like a couple episodes, I was like, I feel like nothing happened. And then they really wrapped it up.
They really wrapped it up.
One. Yeah, they were just like, whoa, damn. Yeah. Lots of information.
Yeah. Jodie Foster's so good.
She's so good. I love her.
Yeah, and I watched Poor Things, which I love.
Oh yes, I haven't seen that yet, but I want to see it really bad.
Yeah, it's wild.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Nice. And then a piece of advice for people just starting out in the career, or something you would tell your younger self.
Yeah. Definitely like be in class, because I feel that that's where you can like make mistakes and be creative and try new things, and also just like take the business side out of it too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do that with short films too. But just so you're not like waiting for auditions. And which also brings me to my second point. You know, people always told me, make your own stuff. And I was like, but I don't want to make my own stuff, you know? And then I made my own stuff.
Nice.
And definitely like make your own stuff.
Nice.
Because you just, you know, work begets work, and just like having your creative energy, do theater, be in class, do short films, make short films. So you're not always waiting for the, the audition to come in.
Nice.
You're not always like, try and like do whatever it is that you got to do to not be passive in this journey, because it's a journey.
Yeah, for sure.
And everybody's path is different. You know, people make it late in life. It's, you don't have to like do it the way someone else did it. You know, there's other journeys, and they're all valuable and, important.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being on my podcast today. It was a pleasure having you. And if you liked this episode, check us out for more. Creative Full-Time is the channel. We're on YouTube and Spotify, and follow us on all the social medias. All the links to anything important that we talked about in this interview will be down below in the description. And be sure to check out my website, AllisonMullings.com, if you would like to donate so that we can keep this podcast going and better and better and better every episode. We would so appreciate it. And be sure to like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. All right. See you in the next interview. Thank you so much.